guys hear me? All right, cool. Just waiting for C-Luke. Oh, you can look at the fire. Let me text him saying I'm going live again. Hold on. Yeah, Adam. There's a cozy fire. Did I add him? Hold on. Accept. All right, should be able to hear you a lot better now.
I want to know why I'm not picking you up in my Bluetooth. Hold on.
Test. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I'm trying to hear you on my Bluetooth. Give me a second.
All right.
Say something?
Yeah, let's go here.
Okay, all right. Okay, cool. Yeah, hold on. Let me put this earpiece on. All right.
All right, cool. I just want to personally thank you for coming on. I know you don't really talk to anyone, dude, so it's like it's going to be good to have people hear you actually speak to someone who, you know, knows some of the shit you talk about. I just want to talk about first when you started, like, tumbling and stuff. How old were you and how long did you coach for and stuff like that?
Oh, man. I started tumbling in, I think, 2000. And, well, first I did, like, baseball, acting, modeling, and all that other crap over here in Wilmington, North Carolina. And they got, like, a modeling agency and stuff like that. I was, like, with a kid modeling agency, and then I did what do you call it? Baseball as a catcher. And then I went to the gym. I went to a gym one day. My sister was cheerleading. I saw all these guys in there flipping, and I mean, they were like big dudes. One of them now, he's a UFC fighter. His name is Derek Brunson, and the rest of them, they were just like guys you wouldn't think that would cheer. You when you look at them, they're from the projects. They actually grew up from the projects, and cheerleading actually saved their lives and gave them a lot of outlet. So I decided to join because I thought, they were all cool. They were all bigger than me. They were all buff. They were all funny and stuff. That's kind of who I got my personality and stuff from. And then I just started tumbling about 2000, and then 2006 I moved out to Raleigh and started coaching and stuff. And that's when I left here where I'm at now, and went out to Raleigh, and then I just got back down here. So I started in 2000 tumbling, then I started coaching in 2006, and then I just lost my coaching job due to CV and the whole muzzle crap. Thank you, Mr. Governor Roy Cooper.
Did you start the mask audits while you still had the job as a coach, or was that right after the job?
Thank you. I can't even remember. I think it was during the job, because they were doing
during the job.
They were doing and then I went kind of more hardcore after the job. And Walmart is actually the company that started the whole mask audit thing for me. Walmart did it for me. I started going in there, and they were basically treating everybody who had a mask on like gold, and then just looking at me like I was nothing and I was nobody and junk like that. So I was like, you know what? Let me start recording them, and that's how all that happened.
And when did you have like the first realization in your head like that this whole pandemic was bullshit? Like, did you know right away, or did it take you like a month or two to slowly put it together?
I knew right away.
Yeah.
I was like, I knew as soon as it happened, it was bull crap. And then my friends were all saying, well, no, it's true, it's so-and-so, and people got to be stupid not to just listen to so-and-so and so. And I was one of those stupid people who didn't believe in everything I saw on TV. So when they were talking about it, I was like, I didn't even, since I don't watch the news and stuff like that, I didn't even know that the pandemic was going on until the people that I was living with at the time when I got my coaching job, when I first got back down to where I'm at. I didn't even know anything about it until they told me about it. And then they said, oh, you're not up to date because I don't watch the news as much as they do. So I was just like, what are you talking about? And then they told me about it. Yeah.
Are you?
Well, just thought I was. They basically thought I was ignorant, and because they were like, "Oh yeah, you haven't been keeping up to date." And then I was like, "What are you talking about?" And they told me everything about it, and I was like, "Okay, I believe
And
that, sure."
were you the only one in your family who didn't get the vaccine? It's just me and my older brother who didn't get it. Everyone in my family took it too.
Yeah, I think my little sister told me a story because she said that my mom, my dad, my older sister, my brother-in-law got it, and then she tried to tell me that she wasn't going to get her son the vaccine. But my little sister likes to tell some stories sometimes. So when I went back down there the last time, which was only about a week, because I was going down there and they were doing this whole community crime watch program type thing down there. She kind of slipped up because my dad told me, "Are you going to go get the booster shot for Jay, which is my little nephew?" And she told me, she would never get it and he would never get it. But apparently they both got it.
Oh
So yes,
man,
I am the only one in my family who didn't get vaccinated.
that sucks. Do you remember the first time that like you looked at an event and you thought it could be completely staged or like a hoax? Do you know the first time you thought of the idea of like crisis actors being used? For me, it was probably like Sandy Hook or something like that.
Can we can say that on here?
We can talk in code.
Well,
But
actually, yes,
do you remember?
that was the first. That was the
Yeah,
first one for me too. Actually, I was at
that was definitely a
I
big
was
one.
coaching and somebody told me that it happened, and they told me that when they told me the number, and then they told me all the stuff that as soon as I heard that, that was actually the first one for me too. When I heard that, I was like, that's complete bull crap. I doubt that could ever happen. And that somebody can go in there like Rambo the Warrior saying there's no man around to stop him. There's no, somebody coming to tackle him and he can reload and do all this stuff. And I just thought it was, yeah, that was the first one for me was Sandy Hook.
Do you remember how you got into Bill Cooper? Did anyone like recommend him to you? Did he just pop up on your feed? What was the first thing you remember listening to Bill Cooper? Probably me. I remember hearing like the classic clip of he's predicting 9/11 a couple months before it happens. And then I read his book and stuff like that. But what was the first thing you came across about Bill Cooper?
Oh, man. I think it was the 9/11 too, but it was I'm not sure exactly what clip it was. Actually, I think it was on Facebook. And I heard the opening of his music. And I was like, man, this music is horrible, man. I was like, I ain't trying to listen to whatever comes after this crap. I was like, this is the most horrible. I was like, let me just turn this off. And it was an hour long. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, I don't want to hear this crap. And then, I think I heard a short, I'm not even sure if it was Facebook or YouTube, but I know that, I ended up hearing him speak, and I think it might have been the 9/11 one too, but it could have been something else. But I was just it's not even like a real, what do you call it, miraculous story or anything. I was just sitting on a couch one day,
Right.
and I heard him speak, and I'm not sure if it was 9/11 or if it was something that grabbed me in an hour-long broadcast that he did that I heard on. But either way, I was just sitting on the couch and I heard him talk, and then whatever he said pulled me in. I was like, damn.
Yeah,
I was like, who the hell is this guy?
He
And I was
does
like,
have a very
who?
powerful way
Yeah,
of talking. It can
yeah.
pull
And
you
I was
in.
like, I felt like I knew him, and I felt like me and him shared the same attitude about the truth being the truth, regardless if people want to hear it or not, and regardless if the crowd is saying that the same thing or not. The truth is the truth. And then I was like, I like the way that he talks, and he doesn't cut corners or try to make anybody feel happy or fuzzy inside about what he's saying, because if it's the truth, it's the truth. And then
Right.
that's basically what pulled me into him. And then I looked and I saw AJ, and then I heard of AJ before, Alex Jones before,
Yeah.
but Bill Cooper. And
I was
then
going
once
to
I
ask
heard
you
Cooper
that. Did
more,
you find out about Alex Jones before or after Cooper?
way before Cooper. And then once I started listening to Cooper more, I started going back to some of the things that Alex Jones said, and I was like, you know what?
He's
A lot of the
crazy.
stuff that he took from, well, not only that, yeah. Well, first of all,
Tries
even
to make
though,
us look crazy. But
yeah, but first time I heard him speak, I thought he was he was a complete idiot, and I was like, I can't see how nobody can see that this guy is a complete idiot and he's crazy and you know, all that stuff. And then when I heard him, when I started listening to Cooper, I saw that AJ was taking a lot of his punchlines and the whole, well, don't believe me, look it up. And that was all for
Right.
people who are lazy and don't really want to look anything up. So like, that's why you still hear saying, well, the reason why I like AJ is because he told everything up and so on, so on. So, but he stole that from Cooper, and a lot of other things he stole from Cooper, and that's my thoughts on him. I got more, but he's cuckoo.
Since we briefly talked about you finding out Cooper about like around the after like the 9/11 stuff, do you have a story about where you were on 9/11? I'm too young to like.
I'm kind of breaking up, but I did hear you say that you're breaking up, bro. You're back on track, bro.
Hello. Am I good?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So since you talked about finding out Cooper like through his 9/11 stuff, do you have a story about like where you were on 9/11? I'm too young to even remember 9/11. Do you remember what you were doing on 9/11?
I was sitting in middle school I was sitting in, I'm not sure if it was 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, but I know it might have been 8th grade, but I do know that I was sitting in the classroom and my teacher turned on the television set and
Right. That's what I hear all the time. They wheeled in the TV and showed everyone.
Yeah. And we started looking at it. Somebody made a joke, and then my teacher gave him like the evil look. She looked at him. I was like, oh shoot. I was like, this junk might be serious. I didn't even know what the damn World Trade Center was whenever she told us about it. Before she told us about it, I had no clue what the World Trade Center was. But I was in middle school, right down the road from here. Matter of fact.
I'm sure you've seen like all the compilations of predictive programming leading up to 9/11 and stuff like that. So I'm sure you're like aware of it right after it happened.
Yeah, I got a video actually on the Cooper channel that has a lot of that stuff on it.
And so speaking about Cooper, if he was still alive today, there's been so many psyops and fake events. What do you think he would
Hold up real quick, bro. It's a coincidence.
Mr. Helicopter.
Yeah, I'm used to that. Anyway,
if Cooper was still around today, what do you think he would be focusing on? Like, what do you think he would talk about now? Like, do you think he would talk about the pandemic?
Oh yeah. No, did you just see that?
Yeah.
Snot just came all out my nose. Anyway, no, I wasn't talking about the helicopter. I'm used to that. Snot flew straight up out my nose, bro. Well, anyway, I think he'd be cracking that open.
Yeah, I agree. He already asked you about Alex Jones. Who do you think is like another big show besides Alex Jones and David Icke? Can you think of one?
Joe Rogan.
Maybe Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's chill, I would say. But
I don't really know too much other people,
right.
Bro. Like a lot of the people that a lot of people know today, I don't really know too much of them. Period. Like I don't. I'm in my own world when it comes to stuff like that. I know Joe Rogan. Anybody who is not telling you that everybody is, especially on the news today and stuff like that. Anybody who is not calling bullshit on a lot of the stuff that's going on, complete bullshit, and not trying to cover it up and say, oh well, it's a little bit true, you know, with the plant, with the demic and all that other stuff.
Right.
I think I think anybody who doesn't come right out cutthroat and tell you 100% that you're being lied to and and it's all bullshit, and everybody that they put on the television said, even if they're trying to act like they're trying to tell you a little bit of truth, which is what some people tell you when it comes to AJ. I think they're all, anybody who doesn't cut through and just cut through all the bullshit and tell you that it's all bullshit is a part of the plan and the brainwashing and the psychops and stuff like that. And if there's not nobody being straight up 100% with you saying this is bullshit, I think that they're a part of it, or maybe they don't know that they're a part of it and they are unwillingly.
That's a good answer. I'm gonna move on to like I want you to since I'm gonna have to explain some things to you. 4chan and IP2. 4chan is just an image board where people make threads, and so a couple weeks ago they posted about you, and the thread blew up. It had hundreds of replies, and you had 70 people in your chat room, and like us, and a lot of people on there are talking shit. They're saying you're a schizo and shit like that. So I just want you to, I'm going to give a quick list of things I want you to debunk. All right? You might get mad at some of these. It's kind of dark out here. It's hard for me to read my writing. But one second. All right. Someone on the actual thread was saying that you're a crisis actor, and this is listen, they said you're a crisis actor, and this is a ploy to discredit Cooper's legacy. That was one thing I wrote down. Another thing I wrote down was they said, where was it? Hold on. They're like, oh, of course you get this all the time. Are you on drugs? Do you have any history of mental illness? These are all, you know. So what would you like to say to those claims? That you're a crisis actor, you're on drugs? Or...
I mean, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard.
All right.
If if I was a crisis actor, what am I crisis acting about? Is what I want to know. What's the crisis? First of all,
the theory that some people on 4chan had was that this is all an act to discredit Cooper and to make truthers look stupid. I'm not saying I believe that, but that's what some people believe. Some people were saying.
Well, people could say a lot, and then what I say is, I love Cooper's title of his name is The Hour of the Time, and I like the hours of our time, and the beauty of time is that people can say that all the time, or they can say anything they want all the time, but in time, that will all be proven whether I am or I am not so-called schizo or crazy. Me being on drugs, I am on a lot of coffee, or
we know you like your coffee.
Coffee, sometimes a 5-hour energy shot. Back in the, I used to, but this isn't a drug, but I used to smoke weed all day, every day. Not gonna lie about that, all day, every day, and I could not do anything without smoking weed. But I don't smoke weed anymore. I just smoke cigars, and then I just have a personality, and being in cheerleading with the guys that I told you about, they're crazy. They're like real funny guys, and we always like to have fun and come out of the blue and say something wild or whatever. But yeah, you never know. I might be a little bit crazy. I think everybody's a little bit crazy, but when it comes to, what they say, people just talk, and these are people who, they don't have platforms. And if I was really trying to discredit Cooper, I wouldn't have put in all the hours and hours of times that I put in with all his work. I can't really do too much because all of his work is on that channel. And these are people who haven't looked at my takes, and these are people who haven't searched all of the videos that I've done in Cooper's name, or been really got into detail, like on my ET, about him talking about ETs and me doing lives, 2 or 3 hour lives, playing audio clips of things he has. So there's a people that just talk, and and if I don't, if the Lord lets me see it till tomorrow, to the next day, I know not everybody believes in God. And I don't, and we don't all believe in God in the same way. Some people might say, because I say God, they think they know my belief, but nobody knows anybody's belief. But anyway, if the forces that whoever put this place together that we live in called Earth allows me to wake up tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, all of that, will be proven whether what I'm doing is real or what they talk about and claim about me is real.
All right, fair enough. I want to move on to the apps, since that's mainly what you talk about in these 10-hour streams. When did you first figure out about Crime Watch apps? Like, you just heard a story, or?
I found out about it by cop watching. I would drive down the street, and I would always notice that cops would end up jumping out and conveniently being. This is when my tags had expired at first. So, but I noticed that police officers were always jumping out at different corners or just conveniently ending up behind me in different spots. So I got pulled over. What was it? In New Hanover County over. Oh, never mind. That's not what happened. How did it? I'm trying to remember how did it happen. Well, to make a long story short, I was cop watching, and I called myself cop watching, and I just started as I was cop watching. I'll go up to gas stations and stuff, and record police officers, and how many times I would see them a day coming by. And as I was sitting up at like the Circle K or something, and had my car pointed towards the highway, I would just notice Mr. what I call now Mr. Blue Truck, Mr. White Truck, and I would just notice them driving by many times, and I was like, why do people keep driving by? And then first I didn't think anything of it. I was like, well, maybe they got main things to do. So I just kept cop watching. I didn't have me discovering these apps didn't have anything to do with me actually trying to discover these apps. It had everything to do with me doing cop watching on the police officers to make sure that the police officers weren't violating anybody's rights to walk down the side of the street or drive in the car because they have to have a reason to just to pull somebody over. You can't. Let's say that my tags are expired. It's not really police officer's duty or right to be just sitting in the back alleyway and waiting for you to come by with some expired tags just so he can jump out behind you and whatever. So that's what was pissing. What's up?
You did start off looking into this stuff mainly because of cops and not like regular people driving around.
Yeah, yeah. It didn't have any.
It
didn't have anything to do with. It didn't have anything to do with people. Them period. I didn't even. I just thought it was a lot of traffic. I was like, man, there's a lot of traffic, and I was just watching the cops, and then I would go to different places like an intersection over here at Hardee's, and I would just watch the intersection to see how many times the cops would drive by. And as I was watching the cops drive by, I would just notice the same trucks that we see every day in my life. I was like, why do they? I was like, now I would notice that they would go one way and then go another way, and then go another way, and then just keep driving back and forth. Or I would notice that they would be on the side of the road. They would go to like a stop sign, and then they would have all the time in the world to go. And it looked like they were just sitting there at a stop sign for no reason for longer than they had to. And I was like, and I started seeing more and more people do it. And then I started to notice that every time I got on the road, I would see the same cars every damn day, or I would start seeing the same company, the same U-Haul man, or I would see the EMS pop up out of nowhere with a group of people. And I was just like, first I was just like, whatever, this is just a coincidence. And then I just kept cop watching, and then kept cop watching, and then again it got to the point where I was like, there's got to be some kind of, in my mind, I was like, there's got to be some kind of community crime watch program that they got going on since I'm not from here. This is the only thing that I could put together, that I would see all the people from the community always coming out like that. So before I even knew they had an app, I was just kept watching them, and then I just started seeing how many times I was seeing them over and over and over again. I said, okay. I was like, I bet you they got some kind of app. So then I went into the app store and I typed in Community Crime Watch app, and then 15 apps popped up. And the oldest one is from 2012. And then a lot of stuff started coming together for me when I was in Kannapolis and when I came down here. And then I was like, this is what this is all about. This is why I see people, the same people or random people or the Penske man every day and stuff like that. And that's basically how that happened. It didn't have anything to do with me watching them. It was having me everything to do with me watching the cops and seeing them drive past a million times. And I was like, why the hell would they do that? And then I realized it after a day, because I used to go out cop watching every day. I would go to the Circle K, which the one I'm banned from now, but I would go there and I would sit with my car parked at the gas pump watching the highway and just watching for the cops to come by, and I would just see how many times the cop would come by. And that's when I started noticing them come by. So then I'll go to another intersection. Still didn't think nothing of them showing up. I thought, they live and leave and they got many things to do. So then I went to the Hardee's, like I said, and I watched that intersection. And I just started seeing the same people drive by. And I was like, this is some weird junk. And then I started, when I did walks, I started noticing the same people, even when I'm walking. So I was like, then I got into the whole community crime watch thing.
So is that kind of like, that's how you sort of decided that, I don't want to put words into your mouth, but when you're out there, you're saying a good portion of these people are on the app. How do you determine that they're on the app when you're just on the side of the road? Like, when you say everyone's on the app, do you honestly mean you think everyone's on the app? Because one of the apps you shared, one of them had millions of downloads, and then you were scrolling through a bunch of them, and one of them only had like 50,000 downloads. So I mean,
yeah.
It's just
Well,
I'm just curious, like, how do you determine who's using the app, who's not using the app?
it's all based on it's all based on observation and knowing where what is around this area and knowing that first of all common sense. If somebody is trying to get onto a high, all you gotta do is watch the way they drive, bro. If somebody's trying to get onto a highway and they got a green light, they're not going to sit there in groups in green lights. The EMS is not always going to show up down a highway driving slow with a million people. The on a back road where there's nothing going on in Leland, North Carolina, they're not going to show, people are not going to show up. There's not going to be an empty road when you're going down the road and all of a sudden five people pop up together and they're literally social distance driving and none of them doing the speed limit. When pickup trucks go down dirt roads and they're driving as slow as they possibly can, knowing that if they really got to be all the way down the road and you know that the road is not going to mess up their pickup truck, but they're always driving super, super, super slow. And they all have the community crime watch, what do you call it? Signs up in their neighborhood that says we watch our neighborhood and we do call the police. And then when you go to different places and hangout spots, like I said, every day at the Lowe's, they're not going to hang out at the Lowe's or the Wendy's. It's not going to all of a sudden become popular to a million people who live in Leland, North Carolina. They're not going to all of a sudden all remember at the same time that they conveniently want to be at the Wendy's. Not only that, if you look, if you see them, it's the same cars every day. That's first. That's number two in observation mode. Then when you're looking at them in the apps and stuff like that, or when you're looking through their windows, you can see that a lot of them are on their apps and they got their little phones up. But mainly just from doing it from every single day and just seeing that they're driving as group units. You never see one person flying down the highway. You always see a group of people, for some reason, even the people in front driving 40 miles an hour down a 55-mile-an-hour highway, and then the highway is clear as day, and then all of a sudden another group of people show up together driving as slow as they possibly can, but they all got to be down the highway when there's nothing down the highway. There's literally nothing but gas stations down the highway. There's nothing popular down there. So where are they all going down the highway a million times like that? Why do people come to the Lowe's parking lot and park in a random spot with their lights on and just sit there for about a good 10, 15 minutes and then pull off when I'm eating? Why does the security guard always come up and get in view? Or now, matter of fact, why do you do it 5 nights in a row and then we went there last night, we didn't see him, period? That's because he is also part of the community on his app and he got tired of being filmed. That's why we saw him 5 nights in a row. And then last night we went there, we didn't see him, period. Because he knows what I'm doing. And before him, there was another security guard in a whole different car that doesn't even come there anymore that used to be there every day. And that's because he would do the same thing. He would go park conveniently right there where I'm eating my salad at. And then again, if you go look back at the footage, the Lowe's customers would always have their car parked over there by the picnic table where I'm eating at. And every time I'm out there, everybody would take a 15-minute break in intervals. You don't see, if you go look at the past footage, you don't see any of them doing that, period, now. You don't even see the cart boy coming over there no more, or random people walking over there where I'm at, like the people from the Wendy's and stuff. You don't see that no more. All you ought to do, like I said, and that's another thing that I can't force anybody to believe this. That's why another thing with time, it's just going to go on with time and time and time and time, and that, people can think I'm crazy, but once I'm done and, there's nobody else on the road, what excuse are they going to use when there's nobody else on the road whenever I go out and do my so-called crisis actor show or whatever? What are they all going to say when we're out there and these people aren't on the road anymore? That's why I said I can't force anybody to believe it, but I can go out here every day and until they are off the road not doing what I know they're doing. Regardless if somebody wants to believe me or not, I can't force people to believe me.
Fair enough. One of the comments I wrote down was, it basically said that Google is a spy tool and you're streaming on YouTube, which is owned by Google, for 10 hours a day. So you're making it easier to be spied on, they basically said in the comment. What would you say to that?
I don't give a damn about this earth or being here anymore. And if anybody wants to spy on me and do anything, they can do it. I'm not hiding from nobody. I'm not running from nobody. And I don't give a damn who. Well, first of all, whoever said that is on a program or on an app that I'm pretty sure has some kind of software built into it that's spying on them. And I hear that a lot. And a lot of people say that when they're on YouTube and Facebook and everything too. There is no security in this. Some people say, go to a different thing and stream whatever. And it might be a little bit of security, but there is no, with all the apps and you even having a phone with Everything is controlled. Period. Even let's say this person doesn't stream, he still has a phone. His phone company is owned by Big Brother. His all of these these electronic devices and stuff like that. Even though let's say he downloads a different software to instead of Google or something because Google is owned by whoever. He still got a cell phone that's owned by Big Brother, and his security is still non-existent. That's why everything has got the symbology of the fire, the one eye, the everything. There is no security. That person is not safe. And again, I'm not running from nobody. So what the hell would I be, trying to stream in a different place or
it wasn't really.
what?
They weren't really commenting about you streaming in a different place. They were just wondering, like you're making it easier for people to spy on you. Like, cause let me just say, the IP2 people, they found out about you and you're on a streamer list. So every time you go live on the Bill Cooper channel, your name pops up on a list. And these people are full of like trolls and shit. They're probably most likely the people that called the stores that you went to. So they're like, you got all sorts of people trying to fuck with you now. And like, I don't know. And I'm going to move on to the troll questions if that's all right with you.
That's fine. Well, I mean, just to again, just to make a short reply. I don't care about. I done lost everything, like I said, in this world to this stupid that I've ever known in life, to this stupid safety agenda. And I don't care who's spying on me or what's he gonna do? Come to my car and tell everybody I live in my car when I already told everybody I live in my car? What's he gonna do? Tell everybody I live in Leland when everybody knows I live in Leland? I'm not worried about nothing. The only thing I'm worried about is how to get off this planet. Because I'm not, unless I can change something, then I don't want to be here anymore.
Man, we don't like hearing you talk like that. Let me ask some of these. They're kind of busting your balls a little here. I did ask people to write down a list of questions, and I'm gonna try to go through as most of these as I can before we end the interview. One of them said, "When did you first notice you were being followed?" I think we already answered that. Another one said, "Will you bring back the GoPro forehead camera?"
I actually have it on a lot. I just I don't see the need for it anymore because I'm live, and now once I start flipping the screen, I know we're gonna and since I put the camera in the back now, sometimes that's the only reason why I really had the camera back there, and that was mainly for the audits and stuff too. And but I doubt it. I think I'll just put the live. But look, let me clear something up about the whole not wanting to be here thing. Not that I don't like life or anything like that. I'm saying if I can't change what's going on right now, I don't want to be here. So I don't want anybody to think that, I want to clear that up because somebody.
Well, I think we know.
Okay, I was wanting to clear that up.
One of these commenters said, why don't you ever walk up to these people and like take pictures of their license plates and like have a list of license plates or something like that? Why don't you confront more people? They were basically saying.
Well, I already got a list of all their license plate numbers. When I was in my car, I would on my series I got a notebook full of all their license plate numbers just so I can see how many times I put their number or how many times I saw the same license plate number. But the reason why I don't confront them anymore because it gives them more leeway and it gives them it makes me an easier target for them to call and tell the police that I did something wrong and that I whatever, and then the police will come out there and then mess with me, which is all they want to do.
All right, yeah, that's a good.
That's why I make them go out of. That's why I try to make them go out of their way. That's why I don't. I'm in my car, it's perfectly working and fine, and I got my license stuff. That's why I go walking and I make them go out of their way so that nobody can say that I did anything when all I was doing was walking down the side of the street.
That's a good answer.
I don't want to give them a reason.
Yeah, no, that you're smart. T Blunts 420 asks, why are you so quick to ban people? Why are you so quick to ban people? I guess this guy got banned from your channel or your chat.
I don't even know how to ban people from chats. So I don't know what he's talking. I don't know what he's talking about.
All right. Let me skip one of these.
I mean, if he's
what else we got right there?
Let's see. Only time I would block somebody is if they're like what do you call it, spamming and taking up the. But I don't know how to ban somebody from chat. First of all. I tried it one time and I was like, F it, just let it keep in there because then again, just like I said, proving people wrong. let them keep. I'll let people do whatever, except for the spammers. But it don't matter because I still can't even block them because I don't know how to ban people from chat. But you got to be some type of annoying somebody who keeps asking questions that I already answered, and so you got to be straight up annoying for me to block you because there's a lot of people I have not blocked yet that you would anybody else regularly would have blocked them. I don't know what he's talking about. He probably like you said, a troll.
I have been. I consider myself still kind of a troll too, but I mean, I'm doing it in a not in. I'm not trying to be that much of an asshole to you. I hope you respect that. Can respect that. Let me see. What else we got here? Do you think it was a coincidence the Chinese spy balloon was shot down 30 miles from Leland?
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't even know it was shot down. It was?
Yeah, the Chinese, they said it was shot down 30 miles from Leland. This was, I think, last week. And now they're saying today that they shot down one in Michigan. I honestly think it's all bullshit, but
that's what I was going to say. My opinion, the same thing. It's completely bullshit. So, and I don't know. No, it might have been a coincidence. It probably was it was a coincidence that they said that it was shot down over there. But if you ask me, altogether, it was bullshit, and it wasn't nothing shot down. It wasn't nothing but to hype up the beginning of a hype up of some kind of conflict of the countries and stuff like that.
Right. That's what I think too. I think they're playing
manufactured conflict.
I also read on Twitter today they're saying UFO and shit. So I think they're gonna probably hype up an alien psyop, but I don't know how likely. I don't know how likely that is, but that would be like the mother of all psyops. That would be bigger than COVID, bigger than 9/11, and all that shit. But someone asked, Arby's barbecue sauce or horsey sauce?
I don't. I just get cheese and roast beef. I don't eat the sauce.
All right. Phil G says, will you subscribe to his gaming channel?
If you got to show me which one it is, I guess. If he wants me to, why not?
All right. Couple more questions here. Then I'm gonna wrap it up.
I'm not a gamer no more like I used to be, but sure.
Appreciate your time, C. Luke. C. Luke asks, or not C. Luke. Phil G asks, what does he say? Why would the same people follow you day and night? Wouldn't they figure out that you're not a criminal or a suspect?
That's the same question I asked. You got to understand. People are. I'll try to explain this to a lot of people. Today, people with what mainstream media is doing and making people believe that they give you all these ridiculous stories of small towns and things happening in small towns, and it really does scare people who can't think for themselves. And there are certain people in this world who they don't know what to think about the world or what to think is going on in the world unless they turn on their television set and so somebody tells them what to think. So you got people here in a small country town who turn on the television and say every day and hears these stories, or goes even if on YouTube, however they listen to the news stories at, and they hear about a shooting, a mass bang, whatever. The next one's going to be worse. It's going to be in a small town. It's going to be in an ice cream shop with a bunch of 3-year-olds. Whatever they're going to say next to make them that damn scared of the world, and they all want to be a part of helping the community and stopping the so-called crime. And when you bring that with the social trends and apps and technology, and that being the fact there's nothing to do in Leland, North Carolina. Well, actually there is if you can actually think of something to do. That's all they have to do in this town. Anytime I go out there, they're the only ones out there because there's absolutely nothing to do in this town. Unless you're from this town, you wouldn't know how much there is not to do in this town. That's the only thing they have to do. And yet, but some of them are realizing that I'm not. You see, this is what a lot of people don't know. If you go back to the series, there are some people that we don't see anymore, period. And the reason why we don't see any more, period, is they either figured it out or they just don't want to be filmed every day. And like the people from Circle K, Miss Reed, well, I ain't going to say names. I'm giving that little bit of respect, even though they don't respect nobody else's privacy. But let's say the employees from Circle K who I always used to film driving around. And I used to say, there goes so-and-so from Circle K. The reason why you don't ever hear me say that anymore is because we don't never see them anymore. And we don't never see them anymore because they're not following they're done with the app or they threw it away. And not only them, that's why you don't see the police as much as you used to anymore. That's why you don't see, even though you still see them a little bit, that's why you don't see certain companies anymore. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. If you have to go all the way back to the beginning, and like if you go back to the night walks, how many people, when I used to first do the night walks on his channel and everybody thought it was crazy, how many people you saw out there compared to how many people you see out there now, and how every time we go out there, there's a wave of them, and then it slowly dies down. That's because they're all out there playing on their stupid apps, and then when they see it's the YouTube, man, they check once. But like I said, my goal is to get them not to check once, because if you're that scared, you just need to stay in the house. If you know, you can use that app to protect your community, and that's 100%. I think perfect, but that app is not meant for you to go out and look for stuff and try to be a superhero. That app is meant for when danger, suspicious activity, whatever comes to your specific community, not for everybody to pile out on one little notification and try to go, you know, see who's out or walking on the side of the sidewalk. I don't have a problem with these apps. These apps do not tell them to do this stuff. They take it upon themselves to do that. The apps are only for you to spot stuff in, you know, in your area, not for everybody to go rush into that area and stuff like that. And if they were bullcrap, nothing happened. First of all, there wouldn't be 15 apps. Second of all, there wouldn't be news stories about it. But people miss the stuff like that I show them, their live streams and stuff like that. And they also miss that. My biggest point is, you never ever heard me make nothing up. What did the coffee make me snap? What made me snap? What made me snap? And want to come out here and be a so-called crisis actor, which I don't even get that either. What made me snap? The Bill Cooper's work, the coffee, the weed, me not smoking the weed.
Let me tell you what I read as a viewer that people say all the time. People say COVID made you snap. People say living in your car made you snap. People say that, you know, a couple other things, but everyone has their own theories.
Well, COVID didn't make me snap. If anything made me snap, I wouldn't still have a job and I wouldn't be able to still function. And I actually like living in my car because it keeps me away from people. I actually like living in my. A lot of people don't understand that I actually do like living in my car. Like if I wanted to build something out here or do anything on this land, I could do it. But I actually, even my parents and stuff, they all are like, well, people don't understand how I like living in my car because it's kind of like my studio and it's kind of like where it's just my own little place where I could be alone. I don't have to worry about the world. I actually like living in my car, so I don't know how that made me snap. I actually love being able to just, you know, be in my car and just be alone, you know, because I'm not too fond of this world anymore.
All right, man.
I love living in my car. So I love it, actually.
I think we had a pretty interesting conversation, and I think other people are going to enjoy listening. I have one more question. It is a troll one. Can you give us your best Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson impression?
Can I do what?
Can you give us your best Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson impression?
It's been a while since I listened to The Rock because The Rock is new. The old school Rock. What do you mean, like one of his catchphrases?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. If all these community crime watch, no, hold on, wait a minute. Now, let me get into character real quick. What's your name again?
I'm Jay.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
All right. Thanks.
The Rock says what you're gonna do. What The Rock says, what you're gonna do is you take this. All you jabronis and all you candy asses who listen to The Rock talk about these community crime watch apps. This is what I want you to do. I want you to take these community crime watch apps. I want you to shine them up real nice, and you keep on shining them up real nice. Then I want you to turn that sumbitch sideways and stick them straight up your candy asses.
All right, Luke.
You smell la what The Rock is cooking.
I appreciate your time, Luke. I am gonna send you $100. Peace out.
All right.
Thanks,
jabroni.
I got to figure out how to end this. Hold on.
Me too.
I don't even remove. How do I end? How do I end?